Velkommen til Speilbildet-podcast. I dag så har jeg med meg en helt spesiell og gøy gjest. Så derfor så kommer jeg til da å switche nå til engelsk. So, welcome Gonzalo.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you an introduction first.
Should me?
Yes. So, I have known Gonzalo for about 6 years, and he is super athletic. He does handstand, I know. He does yoga. Oh, yay for me. He hikes. Woohoo! He runs. And he also does some crazy ice bathing stuff that I'm looking forward to hear more about. Maybe crazy for me, maybe not for him. And for you guys, I don't know. So he does so much interesting. It's always like looking at his Instagram and looking and hearing where he is. I'm always very, very eager to see, because you're very inspiring and very motivating about doing things that are outside the comfort zone. And this podcast is all about being outside the comfort zone. So that's one of the main reasons you're here, and you're very cool. So I am just like, I don't even know when I was thinking about talking to you where I should start, because it's been 6 years. So how are you today? We can just start with that. Do you have a good day?
I'm having a great day. I arrived to Bergen yesterday from the east. I went to Finskogen. I wanted to find bears and wolves.
Yeah.
I found none, but instead I ran into a beautiful culture, which is all the descendants from the Finns and the farms, their mythology, their food, their culture.
Wow.
So I was blown away. I had no idea about any of that. So I met a storyteller, a good friend of mine, Marit. She's a hunter. And yeah, she lives telling people about Finskogen and her ancestors. And God, the magic of that place, to put it somehow, although I'm a skeptical man, the spirit of that forest, there was something really special happening there. Like a part of me remains there, and I'm looking forward to get back. I was blown away by it. So yeah, I'm still digesting.
Yeah.
These days off-grid of, moti and smoke saunas and lakes and pine trees and
Yeah, okay. This is so cool, but just rewind in the beginning, and you also wrote that to me, that you were looking forward to see bears and
wolves.
wolves. Why would you like to see them? Aren't you afraid if you see them?
That's a very good question. It's hard to see them. Wolves they will get scared and they will get away, and you need to be very unlucky to be attacked by them. You need to be between them and their prey for all 4 type of predators, for any of the big 4 that we have in Norway, and Sweden as well will be the case with this. Between them and their pups or something like that, they will likely not attack you unless you're making eye contact and howling at them or being like really counterintuitive of how you should behave. But otherwise, I don't know, I think they're majestic. They're so beautiful. I love wildlife, and they're a part of nature. And I think it's purity in how vulnerable you feel when you understand that you're part of the food chain. You know, our ancestors have made the world so safe that we're very seldom humbled. You know, we're anxious, we're sad, but we're not humbled.
That's true.
Mm.
And also maybe less curious.
Yeah. So I just wanted to go see them because I think they're beautiful. And also a personal philosophy of mine, I feel that if you see animals in zoos, it doesn't count. You know, for you to see an animal, you need to see it in its habitat, wild, you know. So, yeah.
Cool. Nice. Thank you for that answer. That was very clarifying.
Beautiful.
So, did you do some kind of sauna there as well?
Yeah, I'm an Aufguss master.
And for people listening, would you just explain? Because I know what it is, but would you explain what it is?
Yeah, okay, shortly said. If there is even such a thing, there's been sauna practices all over the world. Japanese sweat lodges in the Lakota and all the Native Americans, Finnish, all over the world. They have research for one reason or another, parallelly, independent of them being communicated or not. So it's a fascinating thing what sauna practice is, right? The Finnish had this idea that the löili of a sauna, which is the spirit of the sauna, could be heavy or not, or clean or not, and they started using different smells to clear it, to clean it. As they would walk into the sauna, they would feel it heavy or not. And basically, August took an inspiration from that, and in practical terms, it's different oils placed inside snowballs or crushed ice mostly when we cannot get a hold of snow. And it can even it can either be an intention, very much like a yoga class would be framed, or it can also be a story. Someone telling a story like people in the sweat lodges of Native Americans does. You sit down and it's always the same story, and you have music, you have steam being fanned at you, and you have different smells or smoke. For example, Palo Santo or sage or things like that. But all in all, it's a wonderful experience. I got offered to do this, and I had no idea what was it about. I just was in this vibe of saying yes to everything. Like, do you want to eat here? Do you want to travel here? I'm like, what happened if I just start saying yes to everything? Like, where is life going to take me? Much like a leaf in the wind, it travels, it flies so high. The leaf is doing nothing. It's just not presenting resistance. So what happens if can I tap into that? And I got offer in those days, in those yes days, to do the Aufgus Master course, and I had no idea what it was. I had to Google it after I had agreed to it.
Is it true?
Yes, yes, because the person who offered me this, which is the owner of the sauna, told me, I've been to your yoga classes. I like your vibe. I think you'd be a good fit for this. I'm like, great. All right, let's give it a shot. She kind of told me it's like a sauna ritual. I'm like, beautiful, because sauna is something I would have never thought about doing as I grew up and I lived in Argentina. Because why would you willingly go into somewhere that's hot when it's already 40 degrees outside?
Yeah.
It's sunny and we get on the shade. We look for shade and wind. So I just started understanding it as a grown up, as a man. It felt so good. It's so healthy for a physical reason, and also going back to willingly put yourself in uncomfortable situations, how that tempers and calluses your character. And that is found in many philosophical schools, Plato and Socrates, when they had the academy and the liceo, they were all philosophers. They would read and they would spend a lot of time studying, but they would have very extenuating physical practices, because you cannot really tame yourself if you don't tame discomfort and physical discomfort. That teaches you a very different lesson. And that's something that I found in sauna as well. How much you want to walk out, but you choose yourself to willingly put yourself through it for detoxifying, growth hormone stimulation, and character forming. So, yeah, but having discovered what sauna was, I just jumped into it. And the second that I walked into Farisbad in Larvik, that's Larvik or Narvik? Narvik is north, right?
Yeah.
I always confuse those two.
So this is Larvik.
And I often visit those two and I keep on confusing them. Anyways, Larvik. The second I walked into the sauna, it felt so nice. There was music, the smells, everything. It was such an intense experience, and it all made sense how I made myself available to say yes, and kind of life was throwing these things at me, and it was beautiful. So the way I like to do it, it's much like a guided meditation in a way, although I just cue people to focus on their breath at the very beginning, just for a few seconds, explain what the oils are, give them what oils I'm going to use and why I've chosen them, because I like to start with eucalyptus, I like to start with mint, and I like to often end with lavanda.
Oh, I want to go out goose with you.
That's beautiful. You're more than welcome soon enough. Mostly because of what eucalyptus and mint, the properties that they have, how it open up our breathing airway. It feels so amazing. I always throw a citric in the middle, like lemon or orange or grapefruit, or a little drop of each. And yeah, tell them a little bit of that, a little bit about the safety, because it gets really hot with the steam. And people is used to ice bathing here. People is used to sauna, but it gets much hotter during an aufguss. And kind of tell them how the ritual is gonna go. One ice ball in the rocks, fan, 5 minutes, gets intense. A song goes by. I open the door, we change the air, and so on. It's nice to push yourself. When I was doing the education, I had a moment where this was interesting. It was a breakthrough thing because I would always just have to walk out of the sauna because I'm scared that I'm gonna faint or something like that. Like, am I safe? Type of thing, right? And there's nothing worse you can ask yourself than, am I safe? Because I will only trigger more unsafety and more fear. And I remember doing this, and I'm like, I want to get to the end of this ritual because we were being taught how to do it, and we were attending rituals there in Farisbad. And I'm like, you know what? I just looked around. I saw there's enough men here who can carry me out if I faint. So if I faint, I faint. I'm finishing it. And I did it. I did it till the end. And once again, it's a beautiful thing when you prove yourself that you're tougher than you think you are, because always your mind gives up faster, and then that's when you have the chance to forge yourself a little bit stronger, to kind of push a little bit that line. And that was beautiful. That was a bit of a breakthrough for me. And yeah, going back to it, that's basically what Aufguss is a ritual with smells, music, steam being fanned towards you, and the chance for introspection.
Definitely. And it's so interesting to hear that you really pushed yourself
Hmm.
and that you tried and dared to do it. And also, it's very inspiring. And it's also in these kind of elements when we are with the elements like water and air, and we are really in the one of the specters. It's easier kind of to push yourself. And I also kind of had a similar experience when I was at the Well. That's in Oslo, and I
Yeah.
recommend everyone who's listening to go there if you're in Oslo. I just haven't been to Farisbad, but the Well, you have so many aufgusses, and you can go to so many different, like Japanese,
Yeah.
Finnish, everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I have no ties to either the well or Farisbad, and like my personal opinion is that the well means business. They're very serious with their Aufguss.
Yes.
I have not found that level anywhere else, and I've attended to a lot of Aufguss in different saunas and in different places, and I found nothing like the well.
Actually, that's one of the reasons I'm thinking about moving to Oslo. It's just because then I can every weekend go to the Well and just go to 100 aufgusses.
It's too good to be true.
Yes.
It's so accessible. It's so close.
Yeah.
They are so very good. It's open for so many hours. It's not expensive. It's
Exactly.
just, it's unbelievably good.
Yeah, like the first time I was there, I was just recently in Bali.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I was like, I'm back in Bali.
Yeah.
I'm back in Bali. It was so warm. And
Yeah.
they like had like a bar there, and
Yeah.
it was so relaxing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the Aufguss masters that they have there, it blew my mind wide open. I was coming back from a polar expedition in Sweden, dog sledding, in a very rough environment. I like rough, so when I mean rough, it's not rough as in punishing, but as in raw and real. Let's make that clear. And then the last night, I extended my stay one night in Oslo so I could stay at the well, and the contrast was massive. I could not believe it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to this place. They hold Aufgusses. I like spas. I like water. And I could not believe people synchronizes their towel movement with the music. In all the tempo, it's like a dance. It's like a unity of something that's working just perfectly. It really blew my mind, and it showed me that there's levels to it, because they do competitions of Aufguss, and there are tournaments.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I did not
They
know.
do tournaments of just basically that, of all the different ways of moving a towel.
Cool.
And I understood. I'm like, okay, this is the next level. It was beautiful. And they have so many saunas there as well.
So many. So everyone's listening, if you're gonna celebrate anything, I recommend celebrating at the Well.
Yeah. Something I loved about it, if I can make a little parenthesis real quick, the rooms have no screens. They are inspired. They look like a sauna, the architecture inside. It was very much the walls like sauna. Everything is wood. If you look out the window, it's just a forest. Everything, there's so much room for unwinding. the breakfast and restaurant, there's like they ask you not to have the phone. Of course you can if you're gonna relax easier like that. So you either journal, read, or just be.
This is the next level hotel.
Right? Such an experience.
And as well, I heard, I haven't been yet, but you can go in the restaurant in your morgenkåpe.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing.
It's so chill. So you come out of the spa, go grab a snack, chill. Yeah,
It's like, okay, I have to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Because every time I've been there, the restaurant has been sold out. So I've just been in the bar.
Yeah,
But next time I'm going to make sure that I can also go in the
yeah.
restaurant.
And that's the idea of that place, to just go and sink down your shoulders and chill. So needed nowadays, the way the world is.
Yeah, and I noticed that like a lot of things we're talking about today is all about like how you can manage stress, and like because the vagus nerve has become very popular these days,
Yeah,
and a lot of that is also interfering in our conversation today. I feel like
Yeah.
because it affects it, feeling the mastery, calming down in the aufguss with the smells, yoga, and also feel like if you now we haven't heard about your polar expedition, but then you're also on one of the edges, like you're pushing yourself hard, maybe because of the weather, because of being outside, and also that's stress under controlled circumstances.
right.
So it's not the bad stress, I believe it's maybe more of the good stress.
Right.
Because stress can be good. It's
Yeah.
like we need stress to run away from the wolf. If it's gonna eat us, right? But in today, it's the social media that's the stress. That's
Right.
working a lot.
It's an interesting take. Touching upon that real quick, I'm an ambassador for Fjällräven, the Swedish brand.
I have noticed, and you're also sitting here, for those who can't see you, in a t-shirt where it says Fjällräven.
Yeah, I love their code of conduct, how they approach the world, how they're against fashion, how everything is recycled, their policy of leaving no trace in nature. I think they're fighting a really good war. That should be a podcast in itself, because I feel it's doing vanguard. At some point, we're gonna have to understand that we need to stop consuming the way that we are, and big brands stop producing the way that they have. I have this beautiful quote, which is a Native American proverb. We don't inherit the land from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children.
Wow. Okay, one more time. Just say it
We
really
don't-
slowly.
Yeah, we don't inherit the land from our ancestors. We are borrowing it from our children. And that is a beautiful mindset to have, because it's so typical to think like with, I don't know, things that stay in the family. You're getting it from your ancestors. Yeah, that is correct. But actually what we are using now to live the ecosystem where we're living, we're borrowing it from all the generations that haven't been born. So that is interesting to keep in mind when it comes to choosing where we use our money, what brands we support, what things we do. And that was the thing for me to want to work with them years ago when I approached them, because I had a project tracking flora and fauna to determine the health of an ecosystem in an area close to Voss, which is Vinja, north of Voss. And that was it. I'm like, with which brand I would like to work, and even though I'm from Argentina and I am right next to Patagonia, that's where I was born, I still did not want to do it with them. I'm like, okay, wait, what is the brand that I would like to choose? And I have nothing against Patagonia or any brand, and I'm not even going to tell anyone to buy this or that brand ever, just to be mindful about what brands they're supporting, So yeah, the Polar Expedition was a thing of beauty. It was
How long was it?
it was just 3-4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, you lose time. You lose perspective of time.
Okay.
I remember because I was blogging a bit and doing some videos. And I'm like, day 3. And then as I'm looking at the videos, embedding and editing them, every time I start like day 3, I'm like, no. 2 more days have gone by. It's not day 3 anymore. Just kind of get more grounded and rooted in the present. It's one of the beautiful things about nature. And that's one of the beautiful things about Scandinavia. How accessible we have nature. We often see people that they live in Colorado and whatnot, which is beautiful, but they likely drove for hours to get there. Now we could put these mics away and start walking for 10 minutes, and we are in a forest. And we go hiking for hours, and all we see is just berries, lyng, furu, and birch. And I feel that is such a luxury. It gives us such a good quality of life. So, yeah, it was something special, something I've been dreaming of doing forever, dog sledding. I like dogs a lot. I like dogs more than I like people. Actually.
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't at the moment
okay.
because I want to dedicate myself in a different way to it.
Okay.
I
You
don't-
should meet the dog of Christopher,
Uh-huh.
Amico.
Yeah,
He's lovely.
amico, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
I think that means friend in Italian.
Yes,
if
it's
I'm not
correct.
Yeah?
That's why.
Beautiful, such a cute name. I have a name for my dog already.
Oh.
Although I don't have the dog, I want a husky. And yeah, I bet many people is gonna borrow this name after I say it now on this podcast because it's just the perfect name. I want him to be called Cypress or her.
Okay.
I think I would want her, but Cypress is genderless,
Yeah.
and I feel it's such a beautiful name, and it's something we found here as well. Cypresses. So yeah, thing is like I don't have the heart to have a dog and go to work
No.
for hours a day and for him to be alone. Not my best friend, you know. So yeah, just need to do some tweaks in my life, and I'm working on it. Much of it is a surprise because I feel that when we say things, a part of us believes that we have done them already. Our mind cannot tell the difference, so we kind of chill. So I want to keep that hunger and touch and wild to keep on striving towards building the life that I want.
And just a pop-up question for me,
Yeah.
because you say you want to build a life that you want. Don't you already?
That's a very good question. I read not long ago, I think it was a meme or a tweet or something like that that said, "Do you remember when you wanted everything you already have?" And I'm like, God, no. How did so much lack of gratitude, which is what I preach the most, has snuck up from behind me? And it took me a few seconds to digest, but I think it's about balance. To hold ambition on one hand and to hold gratitude on the other, and be stretched wide and far by both ends without breaking. And it sounds beautiful said, but to apply it, I think it's part of the code that we need to crack, right?
Yeah, I agree. Because the reason I'm asking you was because I've been feeling it myself, and I also read the same quote. Maybe we read it the same place.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, yeah, I really do got so much that I really have been wanting for a long time. And still, I'm like craving for something more, doing more good work, creating more communities, and all of these things.
Yeah.
And I noticed that I forget what I got already, the
Mm.
different communities that I already got,
Right.
what I'm gonna do this year. That was like unimaginable just some couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like what you're saying, tapping into the gratitude. And
Mm.
yesterday I just took a cup from my closet or my skapa.
Yeah, skapet. I think it is called shelf cupboard.
Cover, yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was what I was looking for.
Yes.
And I was just taking it, and I was feeling myself a peppermint tea, and I was sitting and drinking, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just like read what says on this cup, because it was a Sögne cup,
Yeah.
and it was just like, tack.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, so easy, huh?
Right. I'm bringing
Just-
this with me.
Tack. Yeah, I was like, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was really bringing that with me into the evening, and I think we need to be reminded.
Often. You know, I'll share something real quick with you. Every night before falling asleep, this is proved to be very effective. Some people journal it. I just like to think about it. I do a little breath work. I do a double sight long exhale, which is really good for calming your nervous system and to get into rest and digest, right? And after I do that for no specific reason the number, but I just do it 7 times. It's something that feels like it works for me. Um, then I think of 3 things that happened to me that day that I'm grateful for. And it doesn't have to be something huge like knocking out of the park. Something small, like I dropped my toast and it didn't land it on the side of the jam. Things that are completely randomized, but I am grateful for.
Yeah.
And like, oh wow, I went to, I don't know, the second I walked into the house, it started raining, or just like little things like that. And it helps you stay focused on the things that will make you happier, to put it somehow, to put it in a shallow and superficial way, because what happiness is, I don't feel we're here to be happy. I don't feel life should be happy, but meaningful. I don't think happiness should be the goal, but a byproduct of something that's way deeper.
Mm.
Uh, but it really makes a difference. I don't know if it was on a podcast or where, but a person was asked to look for all the blue things in the room. You have 1 minute, and he just spotted them. And it's like, okay, now close your eyes. And he was expected to say, okay, tell me all the blue things you said, you saw. But instead, he got asked, now tell me what red things you saw. And he couldn't name one.
Mm.
And that is the point, like where our focus goes, where our attention flows,
Exactly.
our energy goes. So yeah, gratitude is the game. Gratitude is the game. And at the same time, this has been paraphrased for centuries. I read it first from Seneca. Basically, if you cannot be happy with a cup of tea, you're not going to be happy with a palace either. So it's to learn and develop that specific skill that is gratitude.
Mm.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Mm. Truly.
It's a
Yeah.
life hack.
Life hack,
Right?
right?
To develop the sense of
Yeah.
gratitude and to be able to channel that.
Mm.
I think that's where it's at.
I agree. And it's nice to do it in the evening when you're going to sleep. But if we are just thinking about you, I believe you're very mentally strong, being in the polar, being in the cold. Do you have like anything? Do you need to prepare yourself in advance to kind of be ready when it's get difficult in either you're cold or?
Yeah, it's interesting that you want to touch upon that. Often we would think that confidence comes from standing in front of the mirror and saying to yourself, you're the man, or just like positive affirmations. And it's not. It's more about stacking up evidence that you are the person that you want to be, or that you say that you are. There's nothing heavier than that. And you would think like, okay, where do I start then? And that's it. Action. It's not motivation, it's not mindset, it's not I think that most of the people that we see that seem to be the toughest, in the same way that you're thinking, wow, you're so mentally strong, I think we're the weakest, because we're the ones that are trying to prove more to ourselves that we are that. Why would you want to prove it if you already are it, right? And that's the thing, right? How we can transform something that likely could be not regulating your emotions. It's much easier to go for a run, that sit down and feel your sadness. It's so much easier. You don't have to deal with it anymore. Go for a long trail run, go run a marathon, prepare to that. There's so many things we distract ourselves with, and that is kind of something that I've been learning out the years, because I really enjoy running a marathon. So the difference of thinking that discipline is devotion to my future self rather than punishment to my old self has been a game changer for me. So I think that mentally strong, it's a concept in our minds that we project onto people, and we never see ourselves like that. And it goes down to, how can I love myself more so I don't have to do these things, or I do them out of freedom, not out of necessity. How do I crack that code? This is lying underneath, this belief. Is it that I'm not worthy enough? Is it that I'm not enough in any way? What am I trying to prove with this? Well, I enjoy it as well, right? So what do I need to tweak? Where do I need to put my mind and my thoughts and my heart for it to be devotion to myself and a shown of self-love, my discipline, rather than, oh, crap, I had been eating really poorly the past week. Well, I better go on a long hike. No, go on a long hike because it's beautiful to walk in nature, learn to forgive yourself, to accept yourself. And that's kind of the main thing, going back to your original question. Mental strength is indeed a good resource, but a sense of self-love, it's unbeatable. And I think that's what we should strive for. And the best way, take action. That's going to trigger the rest of the things. Many people wait for motivation. If I can give you something for you to bring with you that will be useful and it's down to earth, stop waiting to feel like doing things to do those things. Develop the skill of doing things without wanting. For example, 99% of the times I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to lift. Sometimes in between sets I find a specific type of peace that I never find. But I understand how healthy it is for me to build muscle, to have strong legs so I can hike, so I can run, to have a strong core so I can carry my backpack. You know, I understand the benefits of it, so I'm very used to. It's like washing dishes. I don't know many people who would enjoy washing dishes. Maybe some spiritual masters that have gotten to that level. But I don't even need to get there. I just need the understanding of, like, I can do things that I know that are good for me without wanting to do it. And I think that's what real freedom is. Not to let pulsion and not to let, like, what you want in the very moment to win, you know, but to choose. So you set yourself free from that animalistic side of you for a greater good for yourself that is grounded in logic, that is a result of understanding and discerning and judging in the best possible way, having two concepts, making a conclusion, going, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to strive. Okay, then I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to follow these things that I need to do. Do I want to do it? No. Motivation, very rarely. Don't rely on it. Motivation is that person that you meet and you're so happy to see in the moment, and you hug and you look into the eye and you're like, we gotta hang out. I'll call you, I'll text you, and then it never happens.
True. And I really feel like you're tapping into the intention behind your actions. And those are the most important, that you remember your why. Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, like what I'm hearing you say, and
Absolutely.
that it's a very loving way of saying that I'm here for me, and I want to love myself like I am, without any attachment to any outcome of what I'm doing on the outside. It's just going to be a fun ride,
Right.
this thing called life.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think that's also important, that we are just, we are like leietagere in our own body.
Yeah.
And like our soul is just there for some moments,
Right.
and then it's gonna go away someday, right? So having fun on the way is important.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
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 Nice. Thank you for your honesty. It's very liberating to hear.
I own this to you, to everyone who's using their time to listen to this. That's kind of one of the biggest disease in society today. Everyone's trying to look so cool. We're not giving real. How we're gonna find our people if we're not vulnerable? You know.
True. Yes. It's so nice. And I also had prepared some questions for you.
Very well.
So, and we ask these for every guest
All right.
that's visiting this podcast.
Yeah.
So the first one is, what has been the most important resources for you personally when it comes to improving your relationship with your own reflection, both physically and mentally?
What's been a resource for improving my relation with myself physically and mentally?
Yes.
Interesting. So in shortly say, what has triggered it to improve my It's funny. It kind of goes back to what we were talking. Pain, right?
Yeah.
I think there's nothing better that can happen to you than realizing you don't want to be where you are. Although I've been privileged and I've been lucky and I've been always in a healthy track, to put it somehow, But if there's one thing that has improved, that has been striving to be better. Because you can be motivated towards a result, or you can be motivated towards a positive result, right? Or you can be motivated away from a negative outcome. That is a great motivator as well, right? So, yeah, to see so much suffering in the world, so many things in the world that I don't want to be a part of, it has really worked as a compass to direct my behavior. So maybe there's one thing I'm trying to say, and for someone who's listening, embrace that pain, embrace that discomfort, because they're powerful to get direction, to strive to something, or to strive away from something, right? If I were to sum it up in one way, in one word, will be that. In one sentence, it would be that.
Nice. Thank you.
Mm,
It's interesting with this pain, what it can learn us.
right.
I also noticed that through the worst pain I've been through, it's been my biggest lessons and my greatest blessings.
Right. I hate that is that way. Can I not learn? Can I not learn like Neo in the Matrix? Can I not learn any other way? Do I have to suffer to get the best lessons? Because it's the same for me. It's like, no, God, this lesson again, no. And I feel lessons repeat themselves, and until we don't learn them, they don't go away.
I know. I hate that.
I despise it.
Every time.
Yep.
Okay, ready for the next question?
Shoot me.
Yes. So, what do you want to say to someone who is struggling to feel good about themselves on their own reflection? And what is one step they can take to start working on it?
Wow. What do I want to say? This might sound awful, but it's a Stoic concept. You're going to die.
Okay.
And there is a lot of comfort in that. Because if we were to have to forge a life that is going to be like that in eternity, we have a lot more responsibility than the one we really have. 100 years from now, no one will even remember your name. Because what is your great-grandfather's name? What is mine's? I mean, we might know it if we have some sort of, like, but it's not the standard that people know that. And if that doesn't set you free, I don't know what else will, you know? So maybe said in a bit more optimistic way, don't take yourself so serious, you know? It's not so permanent. It's not eternal. We're here to experience. We're here to have joy. I remember I had this friend who brought this up to me once. It's like, it comes so easy to you to talk to people. I just get so scared. I don't know what to say, and just like kind of locked himself. And that was my advice to him. Don't take yourself so seriously. You know, like, who do you think you are, type of thing, but in the best possible way. You know, what do you think a mistake is? You know, just go and fail and fail again and realize that it's not so important. And unfortunately, everyone is so caught up with themselves now that we don't really matter as much as we make it ourselves in our mind. You know, you might have just stumbled in front of someone, go like, oh God, this is so embarrassing. Trust me, 5 minutes after, they're not even going to think about it anymore.
Exactly.
We see such ridiculous things constantly on internet and this and that, and we don't even remember them. So that should be enough of a motivation, but specifically that should set you free enough to go on and play. Because struggling is real, and I think that's the problem that we're facing the most. Struggling with inaction. You know, we're kind of locked ourselves in this fake sense of perfection that we're striving for, like it would even exist. That's what social media does to us. That's what dating profiles does to you. You see people, it's like, wow, they look so perfect, and no one even looks like that in real life, you know? Like, some people see sometimes my Instagram and go like, wow, what are you doing here in the city? I'm like, dude, it's like the outdoors is just a small part of my life, although it's a very important one. It's just a part of me, you know. I like to read at a coffee shop as well, you know.
And your Instagram looks very picture perfect.
Right, and that's the point, right? And that is the point. I'm not gonna upload the worst photos. Although sometimes the past year, just to make a statement, I've been putting just raw stuff, you know, and not looking for like the perfect sunset and stuff like that to kind of curve a bit that. But yeah, it's like the world is pushing us towards this idea of fake perfection, and that really loads our shoulders down. It's weighed us down. So we're not going to be around for much longer. Nothing of what we do is as important as we make it to be, and that should set us free. That should comfort us.
Yes.
Go ask her out. Go
Yes.
like start that company. Fail. Buy those pink pants.
I think the dating world needs to hear this
Right.
because all the apps now is so crazy and there's so much single people. And I just saw on NRK that it's gonna come a new show where people have to be like really doing outside of the comfort zone
Uh huh.
because everyone is so afraid of rejection. And
Yeah.
one of the guys, he had to go and stand in Oslo
Yeah.
and kind of go and ask people out on
Yeah.
the street, and he was
Mm.
like, I feel like I'm gonna die.
Right.
And that is how it feels, right?
Wow. Yeah. And the point is that we've done that for hundreds of thousands of
Yes,
years.
I know.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I know.
Type of thing.
So
That is a
funny.
stoic thing. You know, there's a stoic exercise that is go to a restaurant and eat like an animal. This is crazy, and I know, bear with me, I know it sounds mental, but go to a restaurant, don't use cutlery, and start eating like an animal. The whole point of this is exactly what we're talking about now. Soften up those rough edges of you're so perfect and how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself, and drinking, putting your pinky up. Drop that. You know, you're an animal, and there's a freedom and there's a purity in that, and it's not so important. So to kind of lean yourself into that. Sometimes when friends have issues with being too much of a nice guy, I'm like, okay, you know what? Do an exercise. Ask something once a day to someone that you could easily do. Like, could you pass me that? Could you get me a glass of water? It's terrifying and it's going to be extremely hard, and that is exactly the surface. We need to start massaging and softening up those edges.
Because people love to help.
As well, right? It's an honor to serve. That's
Yeah.
the hardest part of actually not having a partner.
Yeah.
Having nobody to serve.
Yeah.
There is it is an honor to serve, you know, it gives us purpose, you know.
Yeah. It's important.
Oxytocin, specifically speaking.
Yeah. Okay, so last question.
All right.
Do you have a book, a podcast, or a movie that always lifts you up when you feel down or you need some refill?
Yeah, interesting. I'll start by the easiest one. It just Groundhog Day, Bill Murray, 1991. He wakes up every day, and it's the same day. He is trapped in the same day. I think that's a great analogy
Oh,
for
that
life.
movie. Yes.
Yes, that is my favorite movie. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert, but I mean, you are 34 years later, you know, if you haven't seen it, it's not a spoiler, but nothing changes until he stops living for himself and start living for the others. That's when he breaks the spell and he's not living on the same day anymore. And I think that's a beautiful analogy for life. That is the life we're all living. We all wake up on the same day, and we don't transcend. We don't move forward until we don't live for the others. I studied psychology in Argentina, and I had this teacher who told me the most authentic way to live for yourself is to live for the others. It's interesting. It's almost selfish to live for the others because you're doing it for you, right? That's when you kind of have a clear image of how blurred is me and them, if there is such thing as me, right? But that should be a complete different podcast, and that would take hours to talk about the concept of I and Buddhism philosophy. But I can combine it with the book now. Well, it depends. I have two books. Something changed within me when I read A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Although I have read a lot of Buddhist and Eastern philosophy by then, but it was a beautiful way to understand myself that I have not thought about before. And if that is a little bit too spiritual for many, because I would understand if it's a little bit too out there, and if it's a little bit too much up in the air, there's a book by Ryan Holiday named The Obstacle is the Way. Ryan is someone who is like our contemporary Stoic, and it's very much down to earth and solid ways to live a better life. Because I realized when I started reading Stoicism, by then I have already read Buddhism. I'm like, wow, the same thing flourished in the East and the West. We just named it different things. Like, this is in our collective subconscious. This is us. This is humans. These are human values. They're inherent to us and they're popping up. Stoics saying we live in accordance to nature, to live in this very moment, the way they relate not just the Greeks to their emotions, but to emotions that are overwhelming us. It's basic. It's Buddhism. It's Buddhism has arrived to the same place through a different road, and that was a beautiful thing. So The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I think it's a wonderful thing. And podcast, not really. It's so amazing. I am in a podcast right now, but I don't listen to many podcasts.
So it's or, so you can choose if you would like
Yeah,
to.
no, so I'm just gonna go for books and movies. I read a
Nice.
lot, and I read a lot of existentialism as well. And but yeah, that's something I think where people should start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Mm.
Now we have some. I have to go and check that last book you recommended.
Yeah.
I haven't read that one, but I have read The New Earth.
Of course you have. I had no doubt in my heart. That's why when I said a New Earth, I kind of looked at you, eye contact, like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But Ryan Holiday, it's very easy to read. It's
Good.
very fun to read as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
Looking forward
it's
to
not
that.
a thick book. It's quite the opposite. It's those type of books that you inhale.
Nice. Okay, so we've been talking about so much today, and it's been lovely having you here on the podcast. So, do you have any last words for our listeners, or something you would like to say, or?
Do the thing.
Yes,
I
take
guess.
action.
Yes.
Stack up on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the risk.
Yes.
You might fail doing it,
Hmm.
but you might as well fail by not doing it. That is terrible.
And let's leave it at that. Thank you, Gonzalo, for joining on
Thank
this.
you, Beate. Truly a pleasure.
Yes, truly a pleasure. Maybe you will join us one more time,
Who
another
knows?
day.
I'd love to.
And thank you, listeners, for joining us today. Remember that we will post some pictures of Gonzalo on our Instagram, Bilde. So remember to follow us there. Also to get the news that we are uploading there. So have a great day.